Hello, the jail. Can I have your name, please?
Devin Skylar Miley.
That's something I have a problem
Court B District Court is now in session. This is Magistrate Hillary Braley presiding. Now calling case number 23T00798. This is Ypsilanti Township versus Devon Skylar Miley. Appearance of the record, please.
Your Honor, Assistant Public Defender Alexis Plumai appearing with and on behalf of Mr. Miley. And Mr. Miley, if you could just say your full name one more time for the record.
Devin Skylar Miley.
Thank you. Today is the date and time set for an arraignment in this matter. What I have is a misdemeanor complaint that charges that on or about November 13th of 2023 at 1455 Wingate, being the driver of a vehicle who knew or had reason to believe that you had been involved in an accident upon public or private property that is open to travel by the public, failed to immediately stop your vehicle at the scene of the accident and remain there, or immediately report the accident to the nearest or most convenient police agency. This is otherwise known as leaving the scene of an accident. Do you understand that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. That is a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of up to 90 days in jail, a $500 fine with court costs, or both. Do you understand that potential penalty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Have you had a chance to review an advice of rights form this morning?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have any questions about your rights?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Attorney Plumai, do you wish to address bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Miley is a local resident. He is living with his girlfriend, who is very supportive of him. And just due to the nature of the charge and the fact that I do not think that he will need any time credit on this, he does have a couple other cases that may hold him, but I would just ask for a personal bond on this one, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Miley, your pretrial conference date will be April 24th, 2024. That will be at 9 a.m. over Zoom before Judge Washington. And the court will set bond with the following conditions. You are not to use or possess alcohol, marijuana, or illegal drugs. You are to report to community corrections within 24 hours of your release. For drug and alcohol testing, you will need $12 and a photo ID. Do you know where community corrections is?
I do.
You are not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission. You are not to engage in any sort of criminal activity whatsoever. And you are to appear for any and all dates set for you by the court. That includes the court date on April 24th over Zoom. That also includes going to community corrections. Do you have any questions about those conditions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Attorney Plumai, do you have anything else?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, then at this time, the court will set a PR bond a $2,500 PR bond.
That just means if I don't show up, I owe $2,500, correct?
Correct.
Right, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. If you don't have any questions for the court, then Attorney Pluma, you said you don't have anything else, then this hearing is concluded. You are free to stand up and tell the jail you're finished.
Ms. Lee.
Wait. Mr. Lake, come on over here. Hey, have a seat in the front. Sir, come on.
Yes. Thank you. We'll get that piece there.
He's not going anywhere. Yep, have a seat. Everything's on, okay?
Morning, can I have your name, please?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Donald Lake. R is the middle initial.
Thank you.
Black. All right, black. You're gonna have video, right?
Now calling case number 24T00113. This is Ypsilanti Township versus Donald Ryan Lake. Appearances for the record, please.
Your Honor, Assistant Public Defender Alexis Pluma appearing with and on behalf of Mr. Lake. And Mr. Lake, if you could just state your name one more time for the record.
Donald Ryan Lake.
Okay, thank you. Today is the date and time set for an arraignment in this matter. What I have is a misdemeanor complaint that charges that on or about March 24th of 2024 at 7964 Faircrest, you did make an assault or an assault and battery upon Erica Lake, a person with whom you reside or formerly resided, and a person with whom you have or had a dating relationship. Do you understand that charge?
I do, ma'am.
That is a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of up to 93 days in jail, a $500 fine with court costs, or both. Do you understand that potential penalty?
I do, ma'am.
And did you have a chance to review an advice of rights form this morning?
With the public defender, I did, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any questions about your rights?
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you. Attorney Pluma, do you wish to address bond?
Yes, Your Honor, and he would stand mute as to the charge. Mr. Lake is a local resident. He has a graduate degree in public administration and history. The alleged victim here is his wife. They do share 3 children together, all of whom are minors. I did go through the standard domestic violence bond conditions with him. He will be able to find another place to stay for the time being. The only caveat I would ask for is that he be allowed to go through his in-laws for exchange of the children and to see his children. He also is applying for jobs right now. He is receiving income through a severance package with his current employer, but is applying at open vacancies there. And he does have a medical condition where he needs access to his medication and does not have access to them at the jail. So he is very eager to get back and continue taking those. I would just ask here for a personal bond with the standard domestic violence conditions and that he be allowed to go through a third party for contact with his children.
Okay, thank you.
So, you guys want to?
Yeah.
Bring water.
No, I don't. I'm not happy with that. I work with my husband in the first shop. And my coworker wanted to buy something and I
So, Mr. Lake, your pretrial conference is scheduled for April 8th at 9 a.m. before Judge Washington.
I'm sorry, Judge, what was that? I'm sorry, I did not hear you.
Your pretrial conference date is April 8th, and that will be over Zoom at 9 a.m. before Judge Washington.
Understood.
And the court will set bond with the following conditions. You are not to use or possess alcohol, marijuana, or illegal drugs. You are not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission.
Understood.
You are not to go to 7964 Faircrest Drive. And when the court says do not go, the court does not care if you are personally invited to come back. You are not to go except on civil standby if you need to collect some of your belongings. Attorney Plumai, did you already explain civil standby?
Yes, Your Honor. So, Mr. Lake, that'll be when you call the police and ask them to meet you at the house for a civil standby.
Okay. You are not to have contact with Erica Lake. And when the court says no contact, the court means no first person contact, no contact through the mail, no contact over the telephone, via phone calls, text messages, emails, social media, the internet in any way, shape, or form. You may have consensual third party contact for the purposes of childcare only. Those third parties are not to discuss this case. You are not to engage in any assaultive, threatening, molesting, harassing, intimidating behavior towards Erica Lake or anyone else. You are not to possess or purchase any firearms, ammunition, or other dangerous weapons. You are not to engage in any sort of criminal activity whatsoever. And you are to appear for any and all dates set for you by the court. So that next one being the April 8th court date over Zoom. These conditions will be entered into the Law Enforcement Information Network, which means that they will be readily available to any police officers that you may come into contact with. And if they have probable cause to believe that you have violated one of these conditions, they can arrest you on the spot. You will be held for a bond violation hearing in front of the judge, who may revoke your bond and set a new, more restrictive one. Do you understand all that?
I understand.
Do you have any questions about the conditions?
My personal vehicle is parked outside of the residence at 7964. Do I have the ability to obtain that vehicle? I do have the keys.
You may collect that on the civil standby.
Understood.
At this time, the court will set a $10,000 personal recognizance bond. Attorney Plumai, you may explain that if necessary.
So, Mr. Lake, what that means is that you are being released today without having to pay any money. You're just promising to come to your next court date. However, if you violate one of your bond conditions or fail to appear for that pretrial conference on the 8th, then your bond would start at $10,000.
Understood.
Attorney Plumai, if you don't have anything else, and sir, if you don't have any questions for the court, then this hearing is concluded. You are free to stand up and tell the jail that you are finished.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
What?
That's Black, Your Honor.
Thank you, Jonathan.
You. Daniel Black.
Yes, Your Honor.
Invalid.
Now calling case number 24S00066. This is the State of Michigan versus Daniel Allen Black. Appearances for the record, please.
Good afternoon to you and your staff. I'm Jonathan Jones. I represent the gentleman in jail with the glasses and the nice hair, whose name is Daniel Black. For arraignment purposes, we're going to waive a formal reading, and he's going to stand mute.
Okay, do you wish to address bond?
I do, Your Honor. I want you to know that I've known this young man. Well, he's young to me, even though he may not feel young anymore, for many, many years. He has a terrific job at one of the auto plants. Specifically, he works at
Livonia Transmission.
Livonia Transmission for Ford Motor. He's been there for many years. This is a dispute with the young lady who's the mother of his child. They do not live together. We will honor and respect no contact order. There's no threat or need to them have any contact. He has never been a flight risk. He will behave exemplary under your supervision and with me keeping my knee on his neck. And I ask he be released with a personal bond. With all that having been said.
Give me just a moment.
Oh, yeah.
And Mr. Black, did you have a chance to review an advice of rights form?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about your rights?
No, Your Honor.
For probation, like when I was sentenced, they said that they don't recommend me being in jail.
Apparently, there's a conference room inside the arraignment room.
It's very loud behind me. I apologize.
No, it's not your fault, but we're always trying to figure out where the sound's coming from, but then your thing lit up.
I was delivering pizza.
There's literally arraignment rooms on both sides.
Yes.
Jonathan.
We're
It's a
used
busy
to it.
place on Monday, Your Honor, huh?
Okay, gentlemen, thank you. So your pre-trial conference date is set for April 8th. That will be at 9 a.m. over Zoom before Judge Washington.
April 8th at 9 a.m.
Correct. Over Zoom.
Oh, Your Honor, I'm gonna be, well, we'll have to deal with the court, but I'll let them know we're out of town that week. I don't know if you can give us another date or we'll have to deal with Judge Washington.
Just a moment.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot it's Zoom. Don't worry about it. We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
Okay, then it will remain April 8th at 9 a.m.
Can I get the Zoom ID or that'll be on the notice?
It'll be on the notice.
Not the same one we used today.
No,
Okay.
not the same one.
Okay.
Okay. So the court will set bond with the following conditions. You are not to use or possess alcohol, marijuana, or illegal drugs. You are to report to community corrections within 24 hours of your release. I'm sorry, did you say something?
I did not. I was just listening. I'm sorry. It's just hard to hear.
No,
I'm so
okay.
sorry.
That's okay. Do you know where Community Corrections is located?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you will need $12 and a photo ID. You are not to purchase or possess a firearm, ammunition, or other dangerous weapons. You are not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission. You are not to go to 1122 Laurel Avenue. And when the court says do not go, the court does not care if you are personally invited to go back. You do not go unless you are on civil standby. Attorney Jones, have you explained civil standby?
Yeah, again, they don't live together, so that shouldn't be an issue, Your Honor.
Okay. So if you
I
have
have
any,
one question, Your Honor. I'm sorry. How do I go about seeing my daughter, though? Do I
Okay.
have to
I'll
have a
help
third
you with
party?
that, not to worry.
Then
Got
can
you.
let me finish and we'll get there. Okay.
I apologize.
That's okay. We're not to go except on civil standby. You are not to have contact with Jody Walton. And when the court says do not have contact, what the court means is no first person contact, no contact through the mail, no contact via telephone, through phone calls, text messages, emails, social media, the internet in any way, shape, or form. You may have consensual third party contact for the purposes of childcare. The third parties are not to discuss the case. You are not to have any sort of assaultive behavior or threatening, intimidating, harassing, molesting, otherwise behavior towards Jody Walton or anyone else. You are not to engage in any sort of criminal activity whatsoever, and you are to appear for any and all dates set for you by the court. So that includes the April 8th court date. It also includes going to community corrections. These conditions will be entered into the law enforcement information network, which means that they will be readily available to any police officers that you may come into contact with. And if they have probable cause to believe that you may have violated one of these conditions, they can arrest you on the spot. You will be held for a bond violation hearing in front of the judge, who may revoke your bond and set a new, more restrictive one. Do you have any questions about any of these conditions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Then. At this time, the court is going to set a $10,000 personal recognizance bond.
Is there a 10% on that?
It's personal, Daniel, you're good. Say thank you and you'll do whatever you were told.
Yes,
Out loud.
sir. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
My
Attorney
clients are
Jones,
always well behaved, Your Honor.
thank you. I'm appreciating that.
All right,
Okay,
stay safe. Good
If
to
you don't
see
have
you.
anything else, the hearing is concluded, and sir, you are free to stand up and tell the jail that you're finished.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. See that back? I don't think I wrote. I need to write there. Sorry.
Hello,
Good morning. Can I have your name, please?
Brandon Scott, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I'll be with you in just a moment.
Yes.
Bless you.
Victoria, do you see if you see if the school wants to go to court?
Now calling case number 23T00817. This is Ypsilanti Township versus Brandon Martinez Scott. Appearances for the record, please.
Your Honor, Assistant Public Defender Alexis Plumai appearing with and on behalf of Mr. Scott. And Mr. Scott, if you could state your full name one more time for the record.
Brandon Martinez Scott, ma'am.
Thank you. Today is the date and time set for an arraignment in this matter. What I see is that you were in front of me on December 11th. You were set for a pretrial on December 18th, and you appeared for that. There was a final settlement conference scheduled, and you failed to appear. So, Attorney Plumai, do you wish to address bond?
Yes, Your Honor. With regards to the failure to appear, I would just note Mr. Scott at the time and still is homeless. He's living at the Delanis Center in Ann Arbor. He does not have a phone at the moment, so it was quite difficult for him to keep up with things. He has recently secured a full-time job at a restaurant in Ann Arbor and is working on getting a phone, still staying at the Delanis Center. But considering that, I would just ask that the court consider a personal bond. He does have one case out of the 22nd Circuit that might hold him, but his preference would be to ask for a personal bond on this case.
I didn't bring you guys up and use that. Or you cannot go to court. It doesn't matter.
You are sure, you got no problem. I got one, but I don't know the number too. It's still in process. And it's yeah, she's still strong. 18734, you know that. That's all the problem. What is going to be 207-425 is in the code for you all. Yeah. 207-425.
Your pretrial conference is scheduled for April 1st at 9 a.m. over Zoom. And at this time, the court is going to continue the bond as set by the judge on the warrant. So that is $25,000 cash or surety. 10% is allowed. Attorney Plumai, do you have anything else?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Then, sir, you are free to stand up and tell the jail that you are finished.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Clerk. Clerk. Did he go?
Good morning. Can I have your name, please?
Joshua Clerk,
Okay, thank you. I'll be with you in just a moment.
understood.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I just, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Jay, that's it. Anyone? You don't buy that way?
Yeah, that's what, yeah. For that one? For that one. I wasn't sure if you want to talk to them too. Yeah, tonight. Wouldn't figure, yeah, I'm still here, guys. You go ahead.
Now calling case number 24T00108. This is Ypsilanti Township versus Joshua Donnell Clerk. Appearances for the record, please.
Your Honor, Assistant Public Defender Alexis Plumey appearing with and on behalf of Mr. Clerk. And Mr. Clerk, if you could just say your name one more time for the record.
Joshua Clerk,
Okay, thank you. Today is the date and time set for an arraignment in this matter. What I have is a misdemeanor complaint dated February 10th of 2024 that charges that on or about that date at 1827 Heather Ridge Court. You did make an assault or an assault and battery upon Victoria Safco, a person with whom you reside or have formerly resided, and a person with whom you have or had a dating relationship. This is otherwise known as domestic assault and battery. Do you understand that charge?
yes, Your Honor.
That is a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of up to 93 days in jail, a $500 fine with court costs, or both. Do you understand that potential penalty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have a chance to review an advice of rights form this morning?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about your rights?
No, Your Honor.
Attorney Plumey, do you wish to address bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Clerk is a local resident. He is employed full-time. He works at a restaurant at DPW Airport. He has 2 children who he supports financially. He does not share them with the alleged victim in this case. That person is someone who he used to live with. He no longer resides there and has not had contact with them at all since the incident. He states that continuing to have no contact and not to go there should be no problem for him at all. So I would just be asking for a personal bond here with the standard domestic violence bond conditions.
Okay, thank you.
Transfer the dangerous. Can I have Alexander to be involved for anything with this?
Okay, your pre-trial conference will be set for April 8th at 9 a.m. over Zoom before Judge Washington. And the court will set bond with the following conditions. You are not to use or possess alcohol, marijuana, or illegal drugs. You are not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission.
Yes.
You are not to purchase or possess a firearm, ammunition, or other dangerous weapons. You are not to go to the address 1827 Heather Ridge Street, and when the court says do not go, the court does not care if you are personally invited to return, you do not go. If there's anything that needs to collect from that address, then you can do so on a civil standby.
I keep asking, girls, like, y'all know.
You want to see our church?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm sorry, Your Honor, I can't hear.
The phone was out of my pocket, I don't just carry no fucking people around here, you know?
Okay, that's better. Okay, so I was just finishing up saying that you are not to go to that address unless you have things to collect. You may do so on a civil standby, but aside from that, you are not to go. You are not to have contact with Victoria Safco, and when the court says no contact, what the court means is no first person contact, no contact through the mail, no contact via telephone, through phone calls, text messages, emails, social media, the internet in any way, shape, or form, or through third parties. You are not to engage in any sort of assaultive, threatening, harassing, intimidating, or molesting behavior towards Victoria Safco or anyone else. You are not to engage in any sort of criminal activity whatsoever. And you are to appear for any and all dates set for you by the court, the next one being that April 8th court date. These conditions will be entered into the Law Enforcement Information Network, so they will be readily accessible to any police officers that you may come into contact with. And if they have probable cause to believe that you have violated one of these conditions, they can arrest you on the spot, and you will be held for a bond violation hearing in front of the judge, who may revoke your bond and set a new, more restrictive one. Do you have any questions about those conditions or any of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I currently have marijuana in my system. Will that still violate me or terminate me from any conditions?
Okay. So I didn't actually order you for testing initially. However, given that information, within 24 hours of your release, you are to go to community corrections for drug and alcohol testing. Obviously, if you've got something in your system now, that's something that they've seen before. As you continue to go for testing, so long as it's decreasing,
Understood.
it'll be a problem. Okay. Do you know where community corrections is?
I do not.
Okay. So from where you are right now, it's basically straight up the hill. The address is 4101 Washtenaw. It's a kind of brown brick building at the top of the hill, and it's labeled Re-Entry Center.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
And you will get paperwork before you're discharged from the jail. Yes?
Okay. I was just going to ask, would I be able to ask one of the officers attending if they know the said building?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, when you go there, you will need $12 and a photo ID.
Understood.
Okay, thank you. Okay. At this time, the court will set a $10,000 personal recognizance bond. Attorney Plumai, do you want to explain that?
So basically, you're being given a personal recognizance bond, so you won't have to pay any money today when you're released from to be released from the jail. You're just promising to come back for your next court date. If you violate a condition of your bond, or if you fail to appear at that next court date, then your bond would start at $10,000 from that point.
Understood.
It's interesting talking more.
Attorney Plumai, if you don't have anything else, and sir, if you don't have any questions for the court, then this hearing is concluded. You are free to stand up until the jail that you are finished.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Lee Benjamin.
Can I make a phone call? She said I don't want to hear.
Well, you have to wait. Come sit down. No, they're busy over there. Yeah, you go to 9. Blind set. These guys can go back to B. Yeah, and he can go too. Sis Trump, he's ready for you.
Is it no catch?
Have a seat.
Oh. Hello,
Can I have your name, please?
John Blansett.
Attorney Amadeo, is this yours?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, well, we got it here.
Now calling case number 24T00041. This is Ypsilanti Township versus John Calvin Blansett. Appearances for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. William Amadeo, P76194, on behalf of John Blansett. We both appear via Zoom, waiver like to be present in person. John, please state your name for Your Honor to know it's you.
John Calvin Blansett, the third.
Your Honor, we'll waive a formal reading, stand mute, and I'd like to be heard on bond when appropriate, Judge.
Okay, thank you. You may address bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. He has no prior criminal history. He does have retained counsel. He does have 2 children in the community. This allegation is from a year ago, and he's been inside since Saturday night. I asked for a PR bond with standard conditions. He will not have any court misses whatsoever. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right on.
Are the children in comment?
Yes.
It's not a domestic violence case, Your Honor. The alleged victim is an employee of a Kroger. It's not his wife.
She's an employee of the post office.
Sorry, employee of the post office, but it's not your wife who is the alleged.
No.
That's why I want the judge to understand, John.
Okay.
Okay.
Your pretrial conference date is set for April 17th. And that will be at 9 a.m. over Zoom before Judge Washington. And the court will set bond with the following conditions. You are not to use or possess alcohol, marijuana, or illegal drugs. You are not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission. You are not to purchase or possess firearms, ammunition, or other dangerous weapons. You are not to have contact with Michaela Macklin, and when the court says no contact, the court means no first-person contact, no contact over the phone, through phone calls, text messages, emails, social media, the internet in any way, shape, or form. No contact through the mail, no contact through third parties. You are not to go to the Kroger in
It's
question.
the post office.
Oh, the
Post
post
office.
office. Excuse me, you said Kroger.
Yeah, I don't even know the person, to be honest with you.
Okay, well, you are not to go to the post office
Okay.
at 1606 South Huron Street. You are not to assault, threaten, intimidate, harass, molest, or otherwise bother Michaela Macklin or anyone else.
Okay.
You are not to engage in any sort of criminal activity whatsoever. And you are to appear for any and all dates set for you by the court. That next one being April 17th. These conditions will be entered into the Law Enforcement Information Network, so they will be available to any police officers that you may come into contact with. And if they have probable cause to believe that you have violated one of these conditions, they can arrest you on the spot, and you will be held for a bond violation hearing in front of the judge, who may revoke your bond and set a new, more restrictive one. At this time, the court will set a $5,000 personal recognizance bond.
And John, that means you don't have to pay anything unless you don't come to court or violate, okay?
Oh, okay. I shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. If you don't have any questions for the court, Attorney Amadeo, do you have anything else?
No, thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. This hearing is concluded. Sir, you are free to stand up and tell the jail that you're finished.
Thank you.
Yes. Does that mean I get to go? I don't really do it.
John, tell the jail you're finished. They'll release you today, okay?
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Judge.
Bye.
And I just turned myself in on the legal.
Supposed to tell the jail I'm finished.
Hey, Val.
Everything I was at.
Good morning. Can I have your name, please?
Russell.
Attorney Plumai, did you meet with him?
No, the jail was not able to bring him to meet with me this morning.
Before probation, but they gave me new violation because this charge I just got charged with. You feel me? But they gave me a PR and said they'll see me April 28th. You all right, bro? I feel it, I feel it. Open up B block today and niggas already fighting. I was like, damn. Yeah, fuck that. I'm ready to go. I'm here since Friday.
Did you send this to me?
I don't even see the prosecutor trying to keep it. The regular assault happened in the jail. So long if I've been in the jail. It is the first time, like, how you know, bro, the nigga pussy, bro, they gonna walk up on me, you ain't gonna put you on your ass. Happens every time. Well, Yeah. Oh, I would be bitch. I'll smack a hole, but I ain't gonna hit my woman. I mean, I'll smack a hole. Don't get me wrong. I ain't gonna lie about that. I even told the judge, hoes ain't real people. But I'll beat niggas up, bro. That's crazy. If they play with my money or my freedom, you see my hands. I ain't gonna punch. You know what I'm saying? I might grab you up out of the. That's crazy. I'm 6'4". Fuck, I look like you doing shit. No, don't do that. No, so I just got a letter and said all I gotta pay now is $98. I only did 3 a month. Now I'm dealing with probation and shit. So I paid $98 on the tickets, and then I gotta go pay the reinstatement fee. And I can get my license back next year. I got the DUI and only, so they revoked it for a year. But that's actually, that's this summer. This summer I can get my license back.
Transfer to David.
Yeah, no, I didn't pay under the table. Look, so I worked at Tom's party store. Hold on, Judge can hear me. But I work at Tom's party store sometimes, but that's just the show thing. I have my face on it. But for the job, said I'll try to get back into Ava. I had an interview tomorrow. So that's $30 an hour. That's 6 days a week. And it's during the day. I already have it scheduled where I can get my drops on the outside first at 4 o'clock.
Mr. Sewell,
The judge wants me
get
to
the officer behind you, please.
do it. It'll be 5 to 3. Ava,
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to move the guy next door?
Well, I can shut you off and move you down here.
That
He's
works
just
too.
talking to his attorney, but
Okay,
I know it's loud.
it's very, very loud and ongoing.
Yeah, we
So,
told him to keep it down and that you can hear his whole conversation.
and it's
So,
going live over YouTube, so
Yeah.
his attorney might want to know that too.
I can go off this one and move you down like 2 doors down.
Okay, that works.
Okay. All right, give me 1 second. Yeah. I have to scoot back a little bit. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
Andy.
Okay, now calling case numbers 22S00621 and 21W003260. So the first one is the State of Michigan versus Jarrell Sewell, and the second one is the Township of Ypsilanti versus Jarrell Sewell. There are also a number of tickets that were set for show cause hearing for today. So, but the only two that you are being arraigned on are the two that I've just called. So, appearances for the record, please.
Your Honor, Assistant Public Defender Alexis Plumai appearing with and on behalf of Mr. Sewell. And Mr. Sewell, if you could just say your full name one more time for the record.
Jarrell Deontay Ira Fitzgerald Sewell.
Thank you. So today is the date and time set for an arraignment on, as I said, the matters ending in 621 and 3260. It appears as though there was a hearing set for November 7th. And you did fail to appear, and you have failed to pay on these, so a bench warrant was issued for your arrest. Attorney Plumai.
Yes, Your Honor. So obviously I didn't have a chance to meet with Mr. Sewell this morning, so I am not sure as to the reason for the failures to appear. But just based on the fact that these are both cases where he owes money, I would ask for a personal bond on each file, and that he be given a chance to set up some sort of payment plan at a subsequent hearing.
Thank you.
I got a question.
For the court or your public defender?
Probably like both.
Okay.
Okay, so because I owe on these, and as you can see, I got a bunch of driving on suspendeds, man. It's not that I don't try to make it to these court dates. Is there any way I can like work those off instead of having to pay? I mean, I'll obviously pay if I have to, but me having no license is just, a money thing at this point.
Okay. So for starters, what we're doing is setting you for another court date at the end of April. It's over Zoom. Okay. What you can do is go to the 14B District Court website, and there's a form that you can fill out about financial hardship.
Okay.
Fill that out so that I can take a look at it before the next court date. All right.
Are you able to note that like in my paperwork so I know how to get to it and remember? Because I'm not gonna remember how to.
Mr. Sewell, we will reach out to you, and I'm just gonna check and see.
And
Does your phone number end in 88?
No.
Okay, so what I'll have you do, when you're released from the jail, you'll get paperwork with the Washtenaw County Office of the Public Defender phone number on it. I want you to call us and update your phone number And we'll be able to help you and send you the link to that ability to pay form
Okay, thank you.
if you can't find it on your own. Yep.
And I would just say that when you're filling it out, fill it out as completely as possible. Okay, because the more information I have as far as that goes, the better. Okay. So your next court date will be April 30th. It'll be set for 9 a.m. and it will be over Zoom. Okay, it will be a show cause hearing. So hopefully by that point, I should have that financial statement from you so that I can take that into consideration and we can discuss your options as far as getting these tickets taken care of. Okay. I have your balance at the moment as $1,276. So, for your information. And at this time, the court will set a personal recognizance bond in these matters.
Thanks, ma'am.
Say that again?
Say thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, Attorney Plumai, do you have anything else?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. Then, sir, if you don't have any further questions for the court, you are free to stand up and tell the jail that you're finished. This hearing is concluded. I will see you on April 30th over Zoom.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you. You too.
Okay, I'm gonna have you both tied in here.
Yeah.
Go before my eye and-
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we should have that one. I got my team. Martina, get board.
Good afternoon. Can I have your name, please?
Thomas Martinez.
Okay, thank you. I'll be right with you. That's the ROA, just so you're aware, it's kind of a disaster. Now calling case number 23FB1285. This is the state of Michigan versus Thomas Martinez. Appearances for the record, please.
Your Honor, Assistant Public Defender Alexis Plumai appearing with and on behalf of Mr. Martinez. And Mr. Martinez, if you could just say your full name one more time for the record.
Miss Martinez.
Okay, thank you. Today is the date and time set for an arraignment in this matter. What I see is that a bench warrant was issued back on October 26th of 2023 because you failed to appear for a sentencing hearing. Attorney Plumai, do you wish to address bond?
Yes, Your Honor, with regards to bond, Mr. Martinez is a local resident. With regards to the failure to appear, he was incarcerated in Monroe County around that same time, and states that when he was released from Monroe County, he was not aware of this next court date. I did advise him in the future that he can call the court or call our office to see what's going on if he hasn't heard anything about a case in a while. He did get a new phone number since then, so we hadn't been able to reach him about the case. And considering all of that, I would just ask that the court consider a personal bond on this file.
And have you been going to community corrections?
No, Your Honor, I don't believe so.
Okay, your next court date is going to be April 2nd. That will be at 9 a.m. over Zoom before Judge Washington.
Okay.
Okay. You have a device that you can use to access Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, if you don't, there is a tablet at the 14B District Court that you can use. You will also get paperwork giving you your next court date, but I am also telling you now that is April 2nd, which today is the 25th. That is next Tuesday. Okay, so next week at 9 a.m. And as Attorney Plumai stated, if you forget or have questions or anything, you can contact the Public Defender's Office. You can also call the 14B District Court and get your next court date. Okay. The court will set bond with the following conditions. You are to report to community corrections within 24 hours of your release for drug and alcohol testing. You will need $12 and a photo ID. Do you know where community corrections is?
Yes.
Okay. You are not to use or possess alcohol, marijuana, or illegal drugs. You are not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission. You are not to engage in any sort of criminal activity, and you are to appear for any and all dates set for you by the court. So obviously that April 2nd court date, but also going to community corrections. Do you understand? Okay. The court will set a $1,500 PR bond at this time. So Attorney Plumai, if you want to explain.
So you're getting a personal recognizance bond, which means that you'll be able to be released without paying any money right now. But if you don't show up to that next court date, or if you don't go to community corrections, your bond will start at $1,500.
Attorney Plumai, if you don't have anything else, and sir, if you don't have any further questions for the court. Actually, wait. I will note that you have a Another matter 22W005726C that was scheduled for a Oh, I did not call that one. Okay, excuse me. So this was also set for an arraignment today, excuse me. And I believe this one is just regarding payments. But again, you did fail to appear, so a bench warrant issued on this matter as well. Okay, so, that will also be set for show cause on April 2nd as well. Okay. And that'll be a PR bond in that one. Okay, so now if Attorney Plumai, if we don't have anything else, and sir, you don't have any questions, my apologies for that, but these hearings are concluded and you are free to stand up and tell the jail that you're finished.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay. Thank you.